Yep. All right. Last but certainly not least, we have Brendan Standish.
And I just want to say, my presentation doesn't look as colorful as anybody else's, nor is my title as catching or thought-provoking. But we're just going to start off with a little bit, a very brief history about myself, kind of just the opportunities that have been awarded to me by virtue of the program, as well as some of what I've learned. So here, this is my family. This is, like everyone here, these are my rocks. These are the reason I'm in this program and the reason that now I will be graduating next semester from this program. My three siblings, my mom, my dad, then my grandpa over there. Growing up, I started my life off at a young age in Atlanta, Georgia. After that, I ended up moving to one of the suburbs outside of Raleigh, Holly Springs. And then I suburb hopped again to another little one outside of Raleigh, Clayton, North Carolina, which is where my family currently resides. I went to my undergrad at Wingate University, a small D2 outside of Charlotte. My entire population here at this campus that we had there was less than my actual high school graduating class, so very small school. What brought me to the College of Charleston? Beautiful architecture, a rich history, cool wildlife, but quite frankly, Not Just Frank's is what sold it. This is one of the best restaurants that I've ever been to over in Mount Pleasant. If you're ever over there, definitely recommend trying this. So why the MPA program specifically? I had a background in environmental biology. I really had no idea what was going on in the public administration realm. My mom did, and she was like, this is a really good program. You should look at adding this in. Lo and behold, there is a concurrent program. But that can only be so much of it. My why is that I want to sit at a desk all day. But more realistically here, I want to help people. And I want to help with biological invasions and invasive species work, which stop me if you heard this before, but I'm very into invasive species management, and I will talk about that. My first semester here, I was the sustainability intern for the Medical University of South Carolina, and I was a graduate assistant for the Riley Center, working for the Community Assistance Program. That's actually a deliverable I got to make for flood depth markers, and I was a mascot. The second semester, I transitioned over to a graduate assistant for the Department of Residence Life here at the College of Charleston. And I also happened to meet one of my best friends still to this day, Alec Hirsch, who happened to be an MPA student here as well. So kind of what I learned that first year, really like social ecological systems. I can thank my public policy professor for that one. And then also learned about ArcGIS. Definitely something that was very daunting at first, but I'm happy that I kind of got that skill set underneath me to learn. My third semester, I transitioned over to working full-time for the Department of Residence Life. That's some of my wonderful staff that I have up there in the front left. Also one of my RAs, Gil, he's a great guy. And then this is one of the things that we made here my very first year, because as we'll talk about a little bit later with some of this stuff, my staff really responded to memes. I don't know what it was, they liked these type of things being made here, and so fourth semester kind of went along with that as well. And you can see some of the stuff that I learned here in a second about, yep. So I learned problem solving, and that's just, based on this position, a lot of things kind of moving at once, you got to kind of learn what to do. I learned different communication styles work differently on different people. Some people like the memes, some people like upfront communication. And I also learned my environmental biology course that USDA has invasive species work. However, into the second year, I got into a slump. I was in a job that wasn't necessarily what I wanted to do with invasive species management, didn't know what I was going to do here. So I talked to Lucy Davis and was just kind of seeing what maybe she thought would be the next steps with this. And this is where Lucy ended up bringing me on to an invasive species job that we have here in the Charleston area, working for Clemson's Department of Plant Industry. So I went from a slump to a relatively happy guy here. In my fifth semester, because by the way, I'm going to graduate a year past my anticipated date, I went part-time. I started working for this job here, and I learned a lot of different things, such as kind of just being out and about, really interacting with people in the actual work field here itself, being on people's properties. In the sixth semester, more so transitioned over to stakeholder engagement from an outreach perspective. How are you going to interact with a different, diverse group of people? Because this all takes place outside of the peninsula. It's over even more west of West Ashley towards the Ravenel, Hollywood area, if you're familiar with that. Some of the things that I learned here, our studio. I don't like our studio, but I had to learn a little bit of it. I also learned about different invasive species that we do have here, kind of in that professional realm, and this is Kogan grass for anyone that's just curious why I have a blade of grass coming up here. My seventh semester, which is this one now, I had the privilege of being able to go to Ohio's Department of Agriculture and do a 2-week exchange with some of their program up there and learn more about different invasives. And I also have the privilege of doing capstone as well as my thesis at the same time, so it's a lot of reading. So what I've learned this semester is that there's really, it's hard to describe administrative value and just really administrative discretion to someone that isn't familiar with it, but it's one of the biggest things that we can do here as administrators, also leadership and other things of that nature. 8th semester, that's going to be next semester. I plan on graduating, and I plan on finishing and defending my thesis here, which it's just about invasive species. Yeah. And so personal growth, this program has awarded me the opportunity to meet some of my best friends, a loving partner, and I've also been able to become a cat person. I never thought that would happen when I first came here. I will attribute that to the program, a growth mindset. So professional growth, I've been given a lot of different opportunities where I've been able to interact with a bunch of people that I probably would have never been able to do. A lot of upward mobility in my job, which I'm very thankful for, and that's by virtue of this program and finding out about what all was offered. Plans for the future, I plan on pursuing a PhD, and I actually got my first successful matching back today, so pretty excited about that. Yeah, so we'll see how that all goes. And I just wanted to say thank you not only to the professors here, but also to my classmates that made this a wonderful semester. And so thank all of y'all. And then thank y'all for being here as well. Yeah.